swooning for some jazz.
Let Nothemba Madumo serve you up some jazz and beyond.
On 702 and CapeTalk.
It is Jazz and Beyond on 702 and CapeTalk. And of course, this is where you come for the jazz and then you stay for a good time. And our guest today, I'm excited to have a conversation with him. He was born in Beirut during one of the darkest periods of the Lebanese civil war. And he also belongs to a family of one of Lebanon's most respected musical families. In fact, his father, Ibrahim Maalouf, was celebrated worldwide for inventing what they call the quarter tone trumpet. Well, I guess, our guest will explain what that is. And his mom is also a classical pianist. And Ibrahim did, leave Lebanon, leave the violence, and settled in France. But we're also chatting to him today because he's one of the most fascinating contemporary musicians. His story extends beyond jazz music. He represents a lot of things: cultural dialogue, innovation, education, migration, identity, also this classical discipline. But the part I like the most is just his fearless artistic exploration. And I'm talking about Ibrahim Maalouf. How are you, Ibrahim?
Hi, thank you so much for this beautiful introduction. Thank you.
It is my pleasure.
We can talk.
In fact, it leads me to my first question, being especially with reference to, having fled Lebanon and settled in France, of whether or not you feel Lebanese when you perform in France or more French when you perform in Lebanon, with this dual identity, so to speak.
Yeah. It's a very interesting question. But I think most people now in the world, they feel connected to different cultures. I don't think anyone, or very, very few people, might say I'm only this.
True.
Or at least, let me put it this way. I think it's this is a very narrow perspective on things. To consider yourself only one thing is quite scary on my end. I think I really belong to another philosophy that thinks that we are much more than just one thing. Even if it's not about being from two different cultures or being from two different countries in the world. You can be from one country. You can have only one kind of genetics, but you can be so much more than just what you are supposed to be.
So you embrace all your identities, basically. This is what you're saying.
Yes, and I really believe, especially now with internet, with radios and TVs, with all this, the cinema and culture, mix of cultures. I mean, you come on your phone, you have access to all cultures of the world in just one click. We are much more than just what we are supposed to be. We, all of us, not only an artist, not only me, because I come from Lebanon and I live in Europe or anything like that. I think everybody actually relates to this multicultural world in which we're living, and it's for good. On my opinion, it's a good thing. It's good to be rooted in your values, in your origins. It's good to know where you are from, where you come from, who are your parents, grandparents, ancestors, where is your history, and what built the world in which you live. I think it's fundamental. It's so important. But in another way, it's very important also to embrace all the cultures of this world and be much more than what your origins are.
I guess that probably would mean that, especially having left Lebanon and being in exile, maybe could that have been maybe your greatest teacher? Just being able to travel the world and experience the different cultures.
I guess yes. I guess it does it does play a role, but I might maybe add that, well, at least on my perspective, again, I'm talking only about my perspective. I'm not doing any general, statement or anything like this. But on my end, facing racism also has always been a way to try to understand why things are so complicated and try to adapt to the situations. And one of the things that racism teaches you by watching people not understanding how a multicultural person could be is also to value this and try to understand why it is important to emphasize on that aspect of things.
Mm.
And one of the things that saves me from racism and from this way to see an identity as only one thing on which you base everything, this very narrow perspective on what an identity is. My way to face it was to open my heart, always, never fall into adversity and violence and all this. Just try to understand why people are being so angry at someone they don't know. Why are they not so open? Why? What is wrong in me? What is wrong in my face, in my way to talk, and try to always open my heart and try to understand them. And while doing this, my process helped me understanding how important it was when you look at someone, to avoid adversity is to avoid putting that person into one specific box. Oh, he's racist. No, 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 no. He's much more than this. Let's talk. Let's try to understand why that person is being like this. And it's a life lesson.
Yeah. And it's also a very interesting and forward, looking philosophy and approach to life, not being judgmental and trying to understand, the point of view and position of the next person. And I think you've always said that, just following you, that just having
And also,
having a
so
conversation with someone makes you learn something more.
yeah, yeah, of course, and you learn a lot, and also, it's um the reason why you do this is I mean, the reason why it's better to act this way, it's because there is always a reason why people act differently. There's always a reason why people focus on one aspect of their identity. Usually it's because they are scared. They fear to lose some part of who they are. And once they feel confident in the fact that they're not going to lose this, that they can rely on you being respectful for their culture, not to be lost. And once they understand that there's no danger for them, everything changes. I mean, not everybody, obviously, there are people who are
Sure.
crazy, but but most people, 99% of people, who are sometimes like very narrowed minded, and they usually open their hearts when they feel confident. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And not feel threatened by the next person, as you say. Is that why then maybe, your concerts and performances, I'm told, feel like peace treaties more than disguised as performances? Would you say that is intentional because of your life experiences, that you just always have that at the back of your mind, that you want everyone to go away feeling, appreciated and seen and wanted and, and loved?
yeah. I mean, all artists. I cannot imagine an artist who doesn't say, "I want to be loved." I don't believe that. I mean, if we are artists, we are always seeking for the validation of people. I mean, this is what we are. And if you are an artist and you are not seeking for any kind of validation, that's a strange way to be an artist, because an artist is supposed to be someone who connects people to each other, not someone who divides people. And before trying to connect people, at least try to be connected yourself to other people. So I wouldn't say that I'm looking for being loved, but I would say I'm looking for my art to be understood, which is slightly different. It's not about me. It's about what I'm creating. It's about my music. I want my music not even to be loved, but to be understood, and that makes a huge difference.
That's true. And even though I wasn't saying about you being loved, I'm saying your actual performance feels like a peace treaty. It's like, hey, can we all come together and be one, and be united? I want to talk about your dad's quarter tone trumpet. What is that for us who don't play a trumpet? That makes it so unique and special.
When my father was a Lebanese farmer in the 50s and in the beginning of the 60s, and one day he was in the Lebanese mountain, a poor farmer, and one day he discovered a trumpet that was an old trumpet that belonged to the fanfares that used to be playing in the Lebanese French mandates in Lebanon for years. So Europeans brought those trumpets and brass in the beginning of the 20th century. And one day my father discovered one of these trumpets and he started blowing in it and he liked it and he wanted to learn how to play these trumpets. So he went to Beirut, he took a few lessons. And one day, I'm going to make, of course, the long story short, but one day he decided to not even fly, to take a boat and go to Europe and to Paris and study classical music. But he also had this dream of being able to play Arab music and quarter tones on a trumpet, which is not possible on a regular trumpet. So once he was in Europe, he designed it and he was able to produce a quarter tone trumpet, and that was his wonderful genius and invention that brought to brass ensembles and music in general another layer of cultures. So quarter tones are in almost all the musics of the world. All the cultures of the world include quarter tones. He wanted to play Arab modes and Arab maqams and all this, but the truth is that this trumpet is able to play all the folklore and all the traditional musics of everywhere on the planet.
Wow!
So it's a crazy invention. It's so interesting, and for me, as his son, developing this is extremely exciting because it makes me play with all kinds of artists from all over the world, and I've been doing this for 25 years now, and it's been a crazy journey.
Wow. And I guess your dad's invention is what changed your musical life. I mean, did you find that maybe you wanted to sound like your dad for a while before you started sounding like Ibrahim?
Yeah, I mean, I'm his first and main student.
Yeah.
On that trumpet. So I definitely started playing like him at first, when I was a kid, and I was, following his steps, and he was teaching me every detail of how to play trumpets, whether it was classical, contemporary, not jazz, because he obviously didn't play jazz, but Arabic music mostly. I used to play exactly like him when I was a kid. But then at some point, of course, I had to, adapt it to my personality, and we're quite different, my father and me.
Yeah.
No surprise, because we are all different. But yeah, I wasn't. We don't share exactly the same type of personality. So I didn't see in trumpet the same thing that he was seeking on trumpet. So I adapted it and played my own way, and yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you started classical trumpet yourself. Let's just talk about the two differences, because classical music, we know it as music that teaches perfection, and jazz music teaches freedom and being free. For you, which of the two, or is it the combination, that taught Ibrahim to just live, within perfection and freedom?
I think each culture brings something different. But I wouldn't even say that classical and jazz would be divided like in two different. I mean, in classical music, freedom is amazing also, and in jazz, discipline is the key
and important too.
Oh yeah, but it's true that most of the jazz philosophy is based on freedom, and most of classical music relies on the perfection and the discipline and all this. But I try not to see things so divided
in boxes,
this kind of
and
boxes.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I try to I mean, the reason why I now still play classical music, it's because there is so much freedom in it, but most people don't dare be free in classical music, even though they should, because classical music can be so interesting when it's played freely. I can give you an example. I created an orchestra, a classical music orchestra, specialized in improvisation. So we are like 40, 50, 60 people.
Wow.
Classical musicians, all of them amazing classical musicians coming from the best level of orchestras and classical studies. We go on stage, no stands, no chairs, and we start improvising exactly the same way that jazz players do, and it's so interesting and exciting. In jazz music, sometimes they don't improvise. Sometimes they just don't improvise. They just play modes and codes and phrases that they have been working on for years and years, and they are not even improvising. They're just pretending that they are improvising. So so and in Arab music it's the same. There is also a huge part of it that is very put in, like there are codes and maqams that you can use and maqams that you cannot use, and rules and discipline and all this. And there is a huge part of freedom also in the way you improvise. So all together, I think I built my own way to develop my music, my compositions, my way to be on stage, that mixes all those values, and maybe more also, more philosophy of what the music is supposed to be, especially when it comes to trying to understand how to fit the different cultures of this world.
Yeah,
this is something that is really very interesting on my opinion. It's how can I sorry,
go ahead. In fact, my next question was just continuing what you're saying. Yeah, go ahead, finish.
Okay, so yeah, I when I was a kid, I used to put the radio of my father and mother, these transistor radios, and I used to, there was no internet, and I couldn't go to concerts. We didn't have money or anything like that. So I used to use this transistor and turn the button until I reach a radio. And once I was on a radio, whatever the music was, whatever it was classical or rock or pop or hip hop or any kind of music, I used to take my trumpet and try to adapt and play with what I was hearing, because I wanted to be connected to the world.
Wow.
And after, when I was 20 years old, I started doing this as as to make a living, being connected to musicians from Mexico, from Chile, from Africa, from Asia, from everywhere, being connected to artists. That's like my philosophy, being connected to people through music. This is, I don't care about identities, techniques. I don't really give too much importance to definition of things. I just want to be connected.
With all that you're saying, and I mean, a lot of young musicians actually admire you because of this courage of ignoring musical categories. What would you say to them for them to not fear? I think a lot of musicians fear disappointing traditional audiences by not, exploring and being open-minded, and just trying a lot of things. What gives you the courage to do that?
I think there's a new generation that doesn't really fear this anymore. I think it used to be. I think it used to be true, so true. Yeah. But I'm not sure it's still that true anymore. But my way to see, my relationship with music is very similar to my relationship with people. If I'm invited in a dinner and there are many different people coming from various countries, religions, identities, and we're talking about, I don't know, food, for example. And we're just talking about food. Oh, and I love this food. And what about this food? And, oh, you should taste this. Oh, there's this very cool restaurant and blah, blah, blah. And then, okay, we finished the dinner. We ate, we had fun, and okay, goodbye. If I'm going to talk to my wife, for example, about this dinner, I'm not going to say, oh, I was talking with this Indian, Pakistani, Muslim guy who was telling me about this food. I'm not going to say, oh, there was this young Japanese, I'm not going to say this. I'm going to I'm just going to say I was with people.
Yeah.
I was with people. And of course, if you dig and if you ask me, I'm going to tell you, yeah, they were from this place, or they were this kind of religion, or they were, but it's not going to be the main thing I'm going to remember. It's not going to be the thing I'm going to focus on, because I don't care the skin color, the religion, the beliefs, even the political beliefs and all this. I'm just going to be talking to a human being. So with music, it's the same. If I'm touched by the music I'm listening to, even if I know nothing about it, even if I don't know anything about the culture, where it comes from, I'm just touched by it. If I'm touched, I'm connected. And if I'm connected, I feel it's my family. I feel home. And that's enough for me.
And that fulfills you. So you believe then that, music succeeds where diplomacy fails, because then audiences,
oh yes,
I taught more about humanity through music than politicians could ever do.
Oh yes, we musicians, without being pretentious or anything like that. I don't want to be sounding cocky, or I don't know what, but come on. What we are able to do with music, bringing all those people, all those beliefs and religions and origins, and whatever your social, financial level is, and I don't know how you say that, there's social, professional, whatever your
status or
something, like in society, status inside. I don't know how you call this, whatever it is. We are all together singing the same melodies, dancing on the same rhythms. We're all together, even if you paid more because your ticket is more on this part of the venue, or if you're standing or sitting or whatever. But we are all together singing the same melodies, valuing the same emotions, living exactly the same memories, and creating the same souvenir and memories for future. We are on the same place, sharing all those things. This is something that politicians are not able to do. Sure. Politicians, they divide us. They don't unite us. They divide us. they find a way to be, they always find a way to keep the power between their hands, not love, not human values, but power. So even though I think we need politicians, and we need them to be working with more ethics and more humanity in the way they deal with things, but definitely we succeed in uniting people more than politicians, and that's definitely the reason why politicians always need artists with them and nearby, because they know that we have this magical stick that brings everybody together.
Do you think musicians sometimes find it a big responsibility to becoming, a symbol of cultural dialogue, or is it just something that they should embrace and enjoy, that that's the impact of their artistic, expression, that it brings positive results, and embracing of humanity? Or some just want to play it. Please don't tell me about, I have a responsibility to say something about this that's happening there or there, because sometimes there's that expectations from artists that say something, the world is burning,
Yeah, I don't think we should be bragging about it, but we should really work with that vision. I mean, we should not say, it's our role. We have to, we don't have to carry that responsibility, always be talking about it and all this. We don't have to. But as long as musically, this is what we are doing musically, sincerely, genuinely, I think the message is here. It's like being a parent. It's like being a father or a mother.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. You're not all the time conscious of, oh, okay, my son, now I'm going to give you food because it's my role as a father. Oh, I'm going to cook some food for you. Do you like my food? Oh, my food. You see, because I love you. I mean, if you do this, they're gonna be completely crazy, your kids. But you provide it, you do it genuinely. You don't have to brag about it, but you just have to do it.
Yes,
And I think it's exactly the same.
Do you still hear the quarter tone sound of your dad when you play? When you play?
Yeah, sometimes when I'm playing on stage, I actually play as if I was him sometimes, because he had this very unique way to play, and he has this very unique personality. He invented something. I mean, my father is not perfect, but nobody's perfect. But there's one thing that he did that changed, on my opinion, the vision of what a trumpet is, which means that in a way he changed what music is, because when you change completely the destiny of an instrument, you are actually also changing the history of music.
Yeah.
So I have a huge admiration for my father, who very genuinely and without even calculating it has invented a way to play trumpet that nobody did before him. And we're talking about a trumpet. Trumpet is one of the most ancient instrument in history. It's the only, a trumpet is the only instrument that is actually mentioned in the three monotheist books, in the Jewish religion, in Christian religion, and in Muslim religions. In the three books, the trumpet is mentioned. It's the only instrument that is mentioned like this in the three religions. It's one of the most ancient instruments. It's played in all the most important ceremonies, most important moments in our societies. Anyways, trumpet it's really a very it carries a very heavy history, but nobody played trumpet the way my father did. This the first one in history playing trumpet this way. So when I used to listen to him when I was a kid, his way to play trumpet was normal to me. I didn't see what was so original, because it's my father, so I used to listen to him playing like this all the time, and he taught me how to play like this.
Yeah.
And I didn't even understand, I didn't even process when I was a kid that this was a very unique play. Like nobody played like him. So when I'm on stage, sometimes I like to pay tribute to him. And sometimes I kind of shift, and like just for a few seconds I shift and I suddenly start playing like him. Yeah.
Wow. And I'm sure, is there a note, a particular note on that trumpet that when you're performing, it just takes you to, I don't know, another place? There's maybe a particular note as you're either improvising or just whatever's happening. There's maybe that particular sound that says, "Oh my goodness, I'm in
I understand what you mean.
I'm in my heaven now."
I understand what you mean. I wouldn't say it's a note. It's not even a phrase. It's more like a state of mind. Yeah, I close my eyes most of the times when I'm on stage. At some point, I close my eyes and I get into that state of mind, a little bit like an actor who wants to dig deep in his own emotions. You know, when you're an actor, you are supposed to play a role, but it doesn't mean that you cannot go and dig inside your own history. And I think that the best actors are the one who are actually truly living the emotion that is supposed to be played at that specific moment. They really live it truly. And I think at some point, playing every second night in concerts, you know, every day, every second day, you're playing, you're doing a show, you're playing the same music, improvising, of course, changing things every night, but still you're playing the same melodies. At some point, you have to go into that. You're not acting, but you're playing what you are supposed to play. And there is a state of mind in which once you are playing and really being into that state of mind, it's like digging in your emotions on a very, very, very deep level. And when I'm there, I'm not exactly the same person. I'm who I am 100%, because even now, of course, I am who I am, but not on the same level. It's not on the same level of sincerity.
It sounds like it's where your truth is in that moment. Yeah.
Absolutely. This is where truth is.
Yeah. When you're an educator, and when these young musicians ask you, Ibrahim, how do I become a better improviser? What do you ask them a question before you even answer? What question would you ask them before you even maybe try to give an answer to that?
I don't really know what would be the right answer or the right question to this, but if you are asking the question, it means that you're already starting the right move.
Okay.
Because if you are willing to improve yourself, you will do everything that is possible to get to that point. You're not going to limit yourself. Be free. You have to be free. But it's a difficult question, because each one of us is different. As long as you're free and sincere and hard worker, of course. On my opinion, if you're already asking that question, you need nobody else. But to trust your own path and your own journey.
And as we were saying, just see how to get to your own truth, by improvising. Look, you have performed.
Maybe the question is maybe the question. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that maybe the question is, ask yourself who you truly are. It's very much it's very much like looking at yourself in a mirror. You know, when you look at yourself in the mirror, I think it's a very interesting and important thing to do. You know, people fear looking at themselves in a mirror. They don't talk to themselves in a mirror. They don't do that. Try to do it.
Yeah.
Talk to yourself, really. Watch who you are exactly, like with all the defaults and everything that is wrong and everything that is beautiful in you and everything. Like, try to be true to yourself. Try to find this truth. And I think there's no better way to look at yourself than when you close your eyes. This is the best way to look at yourself and watch yourself as watching yourself in a mirror, but inside, you know, watch you be able to see who is you, your soul, your inner self. So yeah.
Do you meditate?
Your truth. Oh yeah, when I'm playing, actually, when I'm on stage, I meditate a lot.
And that's when you're going inside of yourself. At that point,
yeah. I'm never as true. I'm never as much myself as I am when I'm on stage.
Oh, beautiful. You perform in sold out arenas, and you play with legends. You've received so much recognition. What achievement has meant the least to you, despite, you know, all of us being excited about it?
I'm not sure I understood. What do you mean?
What I mean is, out of all the achievements that you get, the playing out to thousands of people, receiving awards, or maybe collaborating and performing with some of these great other musicians and getting these awards, out of those great things, which one is least out of those? I don't know. It's probably not an easy way to answer, because all of them are important. But I'm trying to get as to, is it the audience?
You mean the most important of it? The most important of it would be, for me, what I'm doing right now, which is communicating with someone like you. We didn't know each other. It's the first time we're talking. Right? It's our first conversation ever.
Yeah.
You come from a place I've never been to. We both are passionate by music, I guess.
Yeah.
And technology is helping us to be connected, and we're having this very interesting and beautiful conversation. This is what I consider as the most important thing. We are connected through music. We don't know each other, but we share the same passion. We, might listen to some different musics or sometimes some similar musics. And we're talking about what music brings to our lives. And I think this is why I'm doing music. This is why I'm connected. I remember one day there was this woman who used to work in a very important institution in France. And I met with her, and she was telling me, and I was a kid, I was 19 years old. And she told me, what is your dream when it comes to music? I mean, what is your dream? What is your dream life? What is the thing that you really want to do? And she was expecting me to say, I want to be a star, or I want to play in big concert halls, or I want to play with this or that artist. She was expecting something like this. And I told her, I just want to be able to play music and make a living from it, and as long as possible, and be connected to people I don't know. And now when I look back, it seems that this is what I did. You know, I make a living through music. It's been for 25 years now since I started. And I'm connected to the whole world and people I don't know. And I feel connected to my planet. I feel connected to the people I'm living with on this crazy rock. that is traveling 300,000 kilometers per hour in a universe that is unbelievably large and crazy. So I feel connected to my fellow humanity, and that's why it's magical, and that's why this is the best thing that could happen to me.
Yeah, we admire you musicians from a distance a lot of the time, and some musicians also have their own favorite artists that they admire. And when you find yourself being able to be on stage and collaborate and perform with the most unusual connection, so to speak. I was watching you the other day talk about you playing with A$AP Rocky, and you were sharing this story about what you expected from him as an artist on stage, or even as a person in personality, was completely different when you connected, which is what you're talking about. That for you, that's what's important, that you don't want to prejudge and have preconceived ideas about people until you truly connect with them, because then it makes that moment of connection even more magical.
Yeah, and I think it's always, life is very surprising, and that's why it's worth living it. It's there are surprises everywhere, and I like that. I like this. I mean, this is why I'm never bored. It's that always great surprises, and as long as you are open to it, you have to be open.
Yeah.
You have to, especially artists. I mean, we have to be giving the example of being always open to new connections, and I think music offers us a beautiful philosophy that is so much needed these times, especially when you see the situation in the world, in the Middle East. And when my family now is in Lebanon, and I was there 2 days ago, and and it feels, sometimes you feel that everything is leading us to a huge catastrophe, and then music shows you that you're wrong, it proves you're wrong. Because suddenly, like yesterday, I was playing in this beautiful place here in South France, and so many people, all different. Again, I'm back to this, but I think it's so important. Different generations. There were young people, old people, very old people, very young people, all together, jumping, dancing. People from all colors, from all religions, from all beliefs, all together here, having fun and jumping and dancing and singing, and that gives you hope. It gives you hope, and I really believe that this is our message as musicians. Bring hope.
Bringing hope. Have you heard stories about South Africa? And do you have an expectation? Or are you going to be Ibrahim and tell yourself, I'm going with a blank slate. I'll see what I see when I see it and experience it and make my own judgment?
I mean, it definitely is going to be like this, but still, it doesn't mean that I don't expect. I mean, of course, for me, South Africa as a musician, it's of course you Masekela, it's Miriam Makeba, and many like people like who really changed the course of what music is in the music world for everybody in the world. So, but I try avoid putting this pressure on my shoulders and just go and just show the audience, I mean, who might not know my music or maybe might know some of it, everything that we could share together, everything that we can share. And again, I'm back to this, but I mean, it's my philosophy. As long as I'm connected to people during the show and after the show, whatever happens, if we are connected, for me, it will be a blessing. I will consider this as being such a chance, to be able to travel. It's going to be the first time I actually play in South Africa, which is crazy because
which is lovely.
I've been playing I've been playing for 25 years. I've been touring all over the world, and this is the
Yeah.
very first time I'm going to play in South Africa. So I'm really very excited about this. Very excited.
Are you bringing your regular band or what? Because you play with orchestras, you play with small bands, you play rock and funk and hip hop and classical music and jazz and what I don't know what Ibrahim is going to, or do you want to keep it as a surprise?
It's a surprise, but at the same time, I mean, I would like people to listen to some of the music before I start
Of
playing.
course.
So, so the Trumpets of Michel-Ange is the project I'm going to travel with,
Okay.
and I think it's my last two albums. It's called Trumpets of Michel-Ange Volume 2 and the first one, Volume 1.
Yeah.
This is the project I'm traveling with, but I might play some other stuff too, like old stuff too. But yeah, this is the music I'm traveling with. So it's a crazy band. Honestly, it's the craziest band I've ever put together. We have so much fun on stage. It's so nice to travel and play with those people. So I'm glad I'm bringing this one to South Africa.
No, we're actually looking forward to watching you perform at the Standard Bank Joyo Jazz. And trust me, I'll be playing.
Thank you so much.
I'll be playing your music on the show, and those who haven't heard Ibrahim, they are going to know you and look forward to your performances. I've got a few quick questions. You can answer me with one word or a small answer. What makes what makes you laugh uncontrollably?
My kids. I have 3 kids, and I have so much fun with them, especially the last one, the young one. She's 3 years old, and she's the most funny, hilarious person on earth.
What failure are you secretly grateful for? Because sometimes failure is not really failure. It's a lesson, more than anything.
Yeah.
So is there a failure?
I'm working on a book. It's going to be my second book. My first book was released in 2021. It's about improvisation.
Mm-hmm.
My second book is about my successes and my failures, and I'm putting together 20 of them. And a big part of this book is about talking about my failures. And I think it's a blessing to fail sometimes, because this is how you build your personality. This is how you build your path, is also by, going into some struggles sometimes.
Yeah.
So definitely, it's not like one specific failure. It's not just one failure. It's all the failures, and there are many of them in my life. So, and I'm grateful for all the people who told me the truth. That's the most important thing.
Yes.
It's not the fact of failing that is interesting. It's once you are not succeeding in what you were expecting, in what you are doing, the most important is that to be surrounded by honest people. And people who are able to tell you the truth and tell you, hey, Ibrahim, there's this and this and this. You should take care of this. You should watch this. And thankfully, I have around me very honest people who tell me every time, they tell me the truth. So that is very humbling also, because sometimes, especially when you play like in big arenas and big festivals, you have like 80,000 people jumping on your music. You can really at some point believe that you're worth more than what you are. And it's important that people come and say, hey, calm down. Calm down. Keep it low.
Ibrahim, what does love sound like?
I should say music, because this is my way of expressing my love.
Okay, if music disappeared tomorrow, not that it's likely, what would give you life meaning? What would just still give you, your life meaning if
Dancing,
there was no music?
Maybe Maybe dancing, but is it possible to dance with no music?
In the music in your head.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. Rhythms. I think rhythms are the secrets. Yeah, yeah. The rhythm, because this is music. Like, this is like a noise, but it's music. So anything can be music as long as you're open to it.
What does your wife, or maybe even your closest friends, understand about you that audiences never will?
But you should ask them. But I think I'm, I'm an independent artist, and I've been releasing and producing my music and my shows for 25 years. And when people see you on stage doing what you've always been doing, and people value your work, and you have been working so hard, and most people see you as somehow, especially when you have a very big media coverage. People think that you are invincible. People think that you have power. People think that you are above.
Yeah.
The how do you say, the average and all this, which is completely wrong. This is so wrong. This is so false. Like, even the biggest artists in this world, and I'm not even comparing to any one of them, of course, but like even the biggest artists in the world, and I have the chance, again, you said it, but playing with amazing people, Quincy Jones, Sting, you said A$AP Rocky, and amazing artists. The most of them are so humble and human, and very low key, very grounded.
Yeah.
And I think the people who live with me, like my wife and my kids, and the people who are very close to me, they know how much I want my life to be normal. And when you are a musician and you're traveling and you have a large audience, I've sold over 1 million albums in the world, and for a jazz musician, it's very uncommon. And I play in big arenas and stuff, and this is very, very uncommon for a jazz musician. But I wasn't seeking this when I was a kid. I just wanted to be connected to people. I just wanted to share music. I wanted to be with people. I wanted to be understood. And still now, this is what I'm looking for. So I'm not at all into this stardom and star thing and all this. I don't value this at all. I just want to be very, very normal. I just want to have a normal life. And, and I think the people who live with me, like my wife and all this, they see this every day, because it's really not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
And when it happens,
Yeah,
and those moments when it happens, you appreciate it even more, because your career does take that away. My last question. If a young trumpeter listens to your music maybe 50 years from now, what would you hope they borrow from it? And maybe not.
Everything. Everything. I hope like even my students and even the trumpet players who play with me, I always tell them, copy me. And then do it their own way. I would like them to do the same thing I did with my father. I copied him first. This is what we were talking about a few minutes ago. I've copied him first, and then I changed it my way. And I hope in few years, maybe, I don't know, 50 years, as you said, but I hope my music will still exist, somehow for people, and that they will value it and listen to it, and I hope they will copy it first and then use it and change it their own way.
Yeah. Listen, Ibrahim Maalouf, thank you so much. It's been very interesting, fascinating talking to you, and really just listening to how you see the world, how you see your music, how you see yourself. and
Thanks for having me. Thank you so much.
How you want us all to live in a better place. Thank you for that. I look forward to meeting you when you come here to South Africa to perform at the Standard Bank.
Thank you so much.
Jazz. Thank you so much.
Come for the jazz and stay for the good times.
On Jazz and Beyond with Nothemba Madumo.
On 702 and Cape Talk.